And here we go. We have a good faithful 8 or 7 actually. The Magnificent 7. Why not? Unless Jan wants to make it 8. James.
I'm copying something.
Okay.
Let's call us the Seven Samurai. I think the Magnificent Seven was kind of a ripoff.
I grew up with the Seven Magnificent Gladiators, which is a B movie with Lou Ferrigno. Wow. I recommend that. It's good wholesome cheese that used to be on HBO every other weekend. Back in the good old days when it was just one HBO channel and not like 7 channels with the same movie in 12 different languages.
Yeah.
But and I'm paying how much? But anyway,
sorry, Magnificent Seven theme there.
Yes. Well, we got it. Well, we got the Incredible 8 or the Edible 8. Well, I'll figure out something.
The Hateful 8.
Later. The Excellent 8.
The Hateful 8.
There we go. That's a Tarantino flick, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to get through.
I loved it actually. I don't know.
I did too, but I ended up seeing it with my mom, and that was awkward through through a good chunk of the movie. Like, oh my god.
Oh well, yeah. That's what happens when you go see stuff with your mom.
I have an awkward habit of seeing movies with my mom. You know, they're just like outward awkward. You know, I think one of the last awkward ones we saw was American Beauty, and then it took me a few years to forget. Oh, we don't have good instincts when picking movies we're not going to wince through while looking at each other. And Hateful Eight was next.
Is that the one where the guy has sex with his mother when she doesn't know who he is? That's getting weird.
No, that's was that the Grifters or something like that? That's the
something like that. Yeah.
Anyway, Chad, you've got to lay off the stuff.
Yeah.
I will lay off the TV. I promise.
It's a nice Disney
and good
movie.
to see you back too, Bill.
No, this is my front. If I turn around, that would be my back. Now you can see my
I'm sure you'll create a Zoom background showing that. But at any rate,
it has a ponytail. All right, that works very well with the 18th century James Madison stuff.
That's why I do it.
Or what he used to call high school years.
Excellent.
An old joke. I love it.
When I was your age, Kitty, let me think things were different.
When I was your age, back in 19.
Hot.
Okay, the people who are watching this must be wondering when the fuck we're going to do the poetry. We're going to do it right now. We'll do 2 round robins, and Nancy Dotson and Carol Weston I say hello to and acknowledge them for their patience, just seeing us ramble to each other. This is a nice little poetry open mic I decided to do just to cope with the new Thanksgiving rules, the new laws. It's going to be a very different Thanksgiving for a lot of us. And I know Bill, as Bill was explaining before I hit record, he's got his own way of dealing with the new norm, and I have my own. So I hope whatever your norm is, or whatever your norm is, if you're able to maintain your norm, all the more good luck to you. And if you had to change a lot, then good luck to you on that as well. Without any further ado, let's get started with the open mic in the order of who I saw come on first. And that happens to be the man with the brand new novel out, Mr. John Wesick.
Look at that. Okay, well, that's really good. I mean, thanks. It's been a really good week for me, literature-wise, so far. I've got a new spy novel called The Enigma Brokers. It's out on Kindle for only $3, and also I got a Pushcart nomination from Not Literature magazine, and I posted links in the chat. Now, you know the 6 words that make a poet's blood run cold, don't you? I just wrote this poem today. So here we go. It's called Don't Mock Hitler's Mustache.
Yes.
At Yalta, while America wore olive drab or navy blue, the ad man wore a silk tie and jacket of vicuña wool. After Stalin left, the ad man spoke to leaders of grounds fertilized by 500,000 newly dead. Words hurt. How can we heal by saying the predominant genealogy ran death camps? How about repose resorts instead? Appointing Adolf Eichmann head of Health and Human Services would be seen as a gesture of goodwill. The following substitutions will ruffle fewer feathers. Not world war, but macrocosmic contest. Not sneak attack, but dazzling advance. Not national socialism, but civic communitarianism. Not totalitarianism, but discipline and order. Not anti-Semitism, but Aryan pride. Not Holocaust, but extermination engineering. With my substitutions, you'll prevail in the war of ideas. Oh, I meant the altercation of abstractions.
Thank you, John. And thanks to John Stickney for joining us as well. The next person coming up, glad to have him on tonight, and it's Mr. David Miller.
Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. So thinking about, the time, the holiday period, or this period at the end of the year, I actually dug up recently an old photo card that my parents made, Christmas card that my parents made a long time ago. And this gave rise to the following, titled Boys in a Box of Boys in a Box of Stray Pictures. Found. Family Xmas photo card from 1965. 3 brothers, me and Paul and Danny. Itchy, warm November afternoon, bundled thick in winter togs, side saddle on our sled, placards hoisted in our midst, grinning malcontents who declare, "We want snow, unfair to sledders." Note that nondescript hill where our parents staged this lightweight demonstration. I'll tell you about the routine playground, swings and slide on a flat before the hill and behind the multi-garage row, laid out for a faculty apartment complex where we huddled for 18 months. Where I lost my Australian best friend when his dad's sabbatical expired. I cried with that new knowledge of someone gone too far to ever see again. I only remember his last name. Where another pal taught me chess. Smart, sarcastic kid, a boy whose home was the first where I smelled food I didn't understand or want to eat. Scents of sauces and broth lived in the walls. The university apartments, emptied of faces and Saturday cartoons a quarter century after our happy holiday protest. Mothballed, its hedge border thickened as if Briar Rose were sleeping inside, enchanted on my upper bunk. See them erased finally. The stairwells at Halloween, laundry basements grunting with other people's intimates, rooms with Aussie accents I heard as sort of British, but really weren't at all. Rooms where I began to learn how little my ideas of normal were. That uneasy sense could signal delicious for other typical kids. They'd gobble dinners, I'd salivate against my will. My mouth thought, maybe, where my nose said, no. Picture the whole affair leveled at last, leaving green slopes with a lone stripe of parking, phantom kitchens in air above the grass, lost. The swing set, where my chess buddy snitched a snicker about how babies were made, with a phrase I won't repeat, but have fun inventing your own. Include her whole. I tore back to my father and confronted him, poor man, unprepared for my 6th grade tornado, no doubt furious with my suddenly shabby friend. He tried to explain something difficult about love. I wasn't having it. But how out of balance lost time spans feel. 9 mere years after We Want Snow. Of course I would. Thanks.
Love that one. Perfect for the winter time too.
My wife and I are reprinting that and that picture and sending it out as our Christmas card for this year.
Nice, nice. You should send me. I'd love to see a copy of it, even if you just send a copy, even if you just send it via messenger. It sounds like a cool shot.
Cool, thanks, great.
I wouldn't want to share it and spoil the surprise. But let's move on now. Yes, Mr. Bill Lewis, you're up now, sir.
Why, thank you. It is, as usual, a great pleasure and honor to be here with you fine, true poets. And, well, you're stuck with me. I'm sorry. This morning at 5 a.m., I got up to go to a Toastmasters meeting in Sapporo, Japan. And they do not get a lot of guests there in Sapporo, so they were very enthused to have me. And a question came out, which was essentially, the best place for tourists to visit in Sapporo is a mountain and a river. Plus the shrine, the Buddha can't be missed. What would you treat a person to visit? Well, what says Japan to you? What says Sapporo? What thing or place is a must-see, must-be? Sapporo Brewery? What is Japan anyway? What? America, Bill. What is America? What must a visitor see there? What indeed? My friends came to Boston. Amanda and her brood, we saw the harbor and we saw Bunker Hill, and then we went to the North End for food. We walked the Freedom Trail and rode the duck boats. The Children's Museum, the aquarium fish are about all that you could wish. At only 6, what will Caden recall? What he'll remember of all that he saw? A mountain, a building, a park or a ride? Or maybe the time we spent inside? The mixing and beating of flour for pancakes, the cracking of eggs, the dust in the air, the excitement of cooking while perched on a chair, the party and music at the Out of the Blue, the rush of excitement, the danger too. But still, he was safe, so safe on my shoulders. Is that a memory that will last? The mountain, the temple, the valley, the lake are best. But things, not so different from other things. But you, my friend, you are special. It is you that I come for. It is you that I want to see. So take me to your mountain. Take me to your cities. Take me. I come to see you.
Thank you, Bill. And now it is time to welcome one of our phone visitors, our phone participants. I'm going to ask her to unmute. She can do so by pressing *6. Let's welcome up Miss Nancy Dodson.
Yay!
My asset values. How many values have fallen down? This should be a day of recognition, but alas, no funds to make me smile, and the disadvantaged need their pay. Yes, now and every day we come to see. Money is money, a way of life for all to have. Food is food, it must be bought as well as clothing, suitable for occasions. And you might be blessed by passing every test, until one fortunately rises in security and rest. I want to pass everything in sight, good Lord. Thank you.
Hey, Nancy. Yay.
Hey, Nance. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And coming up next is someone who I'm hoping whose work I'm hoping we're going to see a lot more in 2021 for reasons I can't get into here. I know that it's going to be a very strong possibility. Hopefully there'll be some announcements made by people other than myself. For now, it is time to welcome Ms. Carol Weston, who I'm going to unmute right now for you, Carol. So give me a second. And you are unmuted, Carol.
Oh, okay. Yes. Well, anyway, Jack Powers, as I have said before, organized a playing of the saxophone by Stan Strickland. And it overcame me, and out came 21 pages. Well, anyway, so I'm going to start here on page 8. We cannot climb to heaven without the ladder of fire our body teaches us to make out of the igneous rock of the heart. If we do not burn, someone may forbid us to. We turn to poison and pollute the water and the air. But if we dance in the true body of our self-being, free-form, liberated, one with the garlands of fire that embrace the earth, we leap to heaven when we touch the earth, and our wine is fire of the heart. Our hands fuse fingers with the hearts of man aspiring earthwise in the torture chambers of the human family. And each of us who bears a flame shall take it to the door of each of us who lives in darkness. And the earth-wide torch parade shall dance to the millennium, circling the galaxy of seasons. To death from artificiality, the true flower shall be born. Its many-petaled heart shall spread an incense stronger than steel to lift the human spirit from despair. O dancers alone on the floors of desperate ecstasy, take hands, the dance work is beginning, and the images will flow from the center of the earth and time immemorial. The eyes of doubt and fear that stand in gunshot every day and fall needlessly. Oh, hands unite and pick them up and reassemble the human spirit to begin again. Thank you.
Hey. Thank you, Carol.
Good.
Thanks, Carol, very much. And also hello to John Galloway, Carol's faithful husband, who I believe is listening on another line in Carol's home. So they just got a brand new phone. So I believe John's got an ear to us as well, and our audience grows, whether it's by innovations of technology or just something as simple as the telephone game. So welcome all new listeners, all new viewers, anyone who's looking at us through the Facebook feed. And up next on our open mic is Jan Rowe, if she is able to come up and read.
Okay, this is just something that was on my mind. Roger Stone with the Nixon tattoo created the Brooks Brother riot in 2000 with Florida's hanging chads, people pounding on the windows to disrupt. Our future supremes among them pounding the windows, Roberts, Kavanaugh, Coney Barrett was around there somewhere. Roger Stone, freed by Barr and Trump, now affiliates with the Proud Boys. Some urge Georgia voters to write in Trump for Senate, that Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue are rhinos, Republicans in names only. So much for Kelly's claim to be as conservative as Attila the Hun. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jan. And up next, as we near the end of the first round of the round robin, this will be a short night, but it'll be short and sweet, and it's definitely what I needed. I think it's what a lot of other people could use in these uncertain holiday times. Thank you for joining us, and thanks to Mr. excuse me, thanks to Mr. John Stickney, who is up next.
Hey, sorry I was a little bit late. I was
no
actually
worries.
on a family Zoom Thanksgiving call. So
Cool.
and this is a Thanksgiving poem. Running the Statue of Liberty play on our 2020 Thanksgiving. To write a poem about turkeys while turkeys are cooked in my oven is a November scam. I do it every year while drinking beer of Pilsner out of a bottle, but I have to get rid of it, the bottle, before the party starts, the party of this year where no one else is allowed. To enter this bubble, you need a picture of yourself or a mirror to stand in front of, with a turkey feather in your mouth. To prove whose childhood I'm celebrating, this is my idiot arms, and I'm holding a pie. I'm reading the caption on the news. I'm carrying flowers for all the newly dead. Each one represents a massacre of neglect. Each represents the body's viral mimicry. I have $1 inside my ear to block the holiday songs already set on retail repeat. I mock pose, jet lag in my mirror to feel like the true holiday spirit has taken over. In my mirror, a reflection drinks the milk of 1,000 turkeys. I massacre holiday language. My wife says, "You're anti-heroic." And she also says she is writing a ransom note for my eventual incarceration for Turkeyside. Come and get me, copper. I'm right here at home. I'm exterminating all turkey from this house. I'm eating the seeds of summer, of autumn. I'm reading captions, drinking the pumpkin spice Kool-Aid. But you know, it's hard to dance when stuffed with taters and stuffing. It's hard to dance within a gravy boat. It's hard to do the turkey wing. It's hard to do the mashed potato, no matter what little Eva says. But someone has to quarterback this COVID-struck team, lead them down this food-laden field. So why not me? Why not me? Thanks.
Thank you, John. And up next to finish this first of the 2 round robins we'll be doing, let's bring up Mr. James Van Looy.
So I've got my first pandemic poem here. This is what started off the whole cycle of poems I did about the pandemic, which was called Pandemic Shutdown. The central government lobotomized by half a century of fundamentalism, faith-based market model dementia, spreading plaque garbling networks, monopoly of misinformation generates paranoia, conspiracy theory, tin hat, old rabbit ears, antenna broadcast, meme, mind meld, mass surveilled, hysteria of 21st century digital days. No tick-tock with an electronic watch. All along the watchtowers they walk panopticon, circle upon other circle. It's exactly like the old labyrinth ear world of the underground. If only we could finally activate, or rather just get in touch with, our secret, previously unknown sense of the electromagnetic earth. And amidst pandemic shutdown, feel how connected we've always been. I have to go out to help a friend. I'll fill out a form if need be, if only I can get from here to there. And let me sing a very short song. Angels and animals, animals and angels, angels and animals, animals and angels, angels and animals. It's not as if animals can't have wings, or the angels never indulge in a fling. Bats and squirrels embark on brave flight. Men see angels in the midst of the fight. If angels truly jewelry couple and animals so perfectly can people the startled moments of the black night, perhaps we won't embarrass the light with our shadowy, convoluted forms, are tugging the slithering earthworm from its rightful home, our desperate deliberations on what remains disparate. Angels and animals, animals and angels.
Thank you, James. And as with any good game, we hit the back to start square. So we're going to start with the second round of the round robin. And coming up first, once again, is newly published novelist and new pushcart nominee, John Wizik.
Thanks, Chad. So Bill read a poem about Hokkaido, and so here's a poem of mine about Japan called Obon. Japanese offer to help the dead who return for a week in August. A half dozen people cluster around a Buddhist monk by the Arashiyama train station at dusk. Heads turn when I walk past on my way to the celebration. The neighborhood dons its finest kimono for tonight's gathering by the river. Bonfires hang from fishing boats to attract fish for tethered cormorants to catch. A riverfront restaurant serves the local delicacy, udofu. I sit by a group of businessmen. Sake reddens faces. I hear alcohol's raised voice. The waitress appreciates my need for stillness and moves me closer to the window. Far from the boasting of the salarymen, silence summons memories from before time began. Orange flames reflect the birth and death of stars from the water. I glimpse light through the narrow gap between the door to the absolute and its frame. But it's not time to step through. I walk back to the station, wave goodbye to the monk and his entourage, and savor the last moments of this warm, quiet night. A drunk joins me on the deserted platform. He mutters a song, finds a broom, and sweeps. I hear crossing bells and the distant sound of the approaching train.
Very nice. And up next for his part of round two, let's welcome up back David Miller.
Great, thanks.
Oh, I unmuted you by accident. My bad. You're good.
I'm good. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, that's right. No. Says
You're good. I can hear.
You can hear. Okay, good. All right, got it. Okay, good. So here's a poem that I'd forgotten about, but may in fact be appropriate. Titled Gratuitous Gratitude. From me, with gratitude for this person's 2 functioning arms, fingers enough to grasp both dogs' leash and side-kicked shopping bag. Many thanks to you, cyclist who swerved with grace past the crosswalker, who placidly entered the exact space where you would have been at that moment, but weren't because you were the one paying attention. Appreciation to the woman passing who is not my old friend, but looks like my old friend, so that I remember her. Appreciation for 6 chess tables preserved across a primped brick plaza for 1 shred of flavor, 1 smack of survival. Appreciation for the man with the crow feather rising from his shirt pocket, feather, shirt, man, wordless at a cafe table. Gratitude for milk crates of mysterious origin, unfixed sidewalk seating, milk crates from basements, garages, backyards, alleys, crates that never knew milk. Many thanks to someone who sometime handled molten plastic congealing as milk crates. Quiet and awed respect for those who perfected the standard milk crate. Gratitude that when I write or speak milk crate and you hear or read it, you probably know what I mean. Newly discovered relieved gratitude that bus route numbers persist from one day to the next. Widespread unspoken happiness that they use Arabic numerals. Gratitude this very instant for the cool, soaked towel carried in a plastic bag by this man here in army fatigue pants. Appreciation for the gravel receiving the water he pours from the bag. Thanks for the wet terry cloth across his arm. Surprised pleasure for 7 people in one moment, unlocking 7 blue rental bikes at the same time. Thanks for the 2nd public rendition of The Girl from Ipanema this one afternoon. Gratitude for its radio saturation during my childhood, and even more gratitude that I never suffered because of A Girl from Ipanema. Gratitude to sparrows, paragons of one-pointed attention. Never-ending thanks for public restrooms. They make life in public even thinkable. Deep bows to those who clean public restrooms. Their esoteric coronas would blind us if we could see. Thank you.
On fire tonight, sir. Is that from one of your collections I haven't looked through yet?
No, it's not. It's, I mean, thanks for asking. No, it's on, I was Googling myself to find something for the 2nd round.
Nice.
And it was published by Clementine Unbound a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Up next, let's welcome back Mr. Bill Lewis.
I have always thought it advantageous that one should hear one's poetry read by other people on occasion. I mean, what are we writing poetry for if no one recites our own poetry but us? You see, a person needs a poetry reading like a skater needs to take up the violin. A man needs a canoe, needs to start swinging an axe like a sheep needs a eulogy. Maybe a punk rocker needs to dwell on a memory, study it like sheet music. Like poetry audience of 5 needs to applaud as they sit, afraid they will be heard. Like a 2-year-old one-night stand needs a moment of silence, as if reflection will help communication, what communication never could, but at least your breath is yours. Like I need my old apartment keys, knowing the locks will be changed if the landlord isn't lazy this one time, knowing there's a chance to sit in the stranger's room that they work, all the time to keep their unmade bed in, so you can savor the plastic fruit of their spoils. Like a fish swimming under ice needs a pick. Like an activist needs a passive-aggressive ally. Like those in arrested development need an arrest sheet to jolt them into adulthood. Like a dragonfly needs more enemies to pick fights with. Like a scene needs a place where all 300 of us gather spontaneously the same day, or it's done and ruined. Like you need this moment to slay your dragon after you found a kingdom. Like a magician needs to hold both wires and the wand. Like a call of the wild needs a diametrically opposed response. Like this argument needs a for or against for poetry readings before someone adds a final line. Like this poem needs that obvious a joke. Oh, yes, and reading from a marvelous poetry collection of none other than...
And I've been embarrassed. But on the other hand, thank you so much for buying a copy of the book. I appreciate that.
Recommended.
The sad thing is, I was like, wait a minute, is that the one I? No, but then I remember the last lines. I'm like, oh God. You ever go back to your work and it's like, oh God, I remember writing that, or was that mine? Because with these crouton poems, especially year one, I do that a lot. And I'm like, oh, that's mine. It's so thank you for the very pleasant surprise, Mr. Bill. And let's move over to, let me get this. Let's go to Nancy Dodson, who can star 6 herself. By that, I mean she can unmute herself. Telling someone to star 6 themselves sounds nasty. It can sound meaner than it actually is. But Nancy is unmuted and she can shut me up and start talking.
Survival, the design of politics, the fall of one's thoughts amid the fullness of God's being. His mercy has brought design of politics. Compromise them and hit the jackpot. Honest structure comes by hard work. No, but of course, one has mercy at the fall. My death, yours or mine. We'll ring a call of survival. Survive, yes, for all concerned. Come one, come all. I don't want to fall, not yet. God bless my soul. Amen.
Yay, Nancy, thank you.
Thank you very much, Nancy. And we're going to mute you and go over to our other phone diva. Let's welcome back for the second final round robin. Her time is up, Miss Carol Weston. And let me unmute you, Miss Weston. You should be all set now.
So I'm continuing with Peace Fire. The eyes of doubt and fear that stand in gunshot every day and fall needlessly. Oh, hands, unite and pick them up and reassemble the human spirit to begin again. What chemicals can we combine in the frying pans of our hearts to heal the disassembled child who is the dream our wounds conceived with fire? Heaven and earth unite in our bodies and carry each of us to our true natures, the wagons we hitch to the stars, to let our chores be done by the gods themselves. What we love is our heritage, and what comes to us is our own. And the spoon of plated silver found on the beach rocks of our childhood can feed us eternity. It does not take time to make miracles. It takes a living body and a soul supported by many hands who did not let it drop. In the chaos of a sky where souls drop like bombs out of sight, the brightest images of earth are falling through the ground, never to emerge, except the ones who reappear in boats on underground rivers, dragging stars from heretofore unseen minerals of light. Thank you.
Jay.
Thank you, Kev. Hopefully we'll get that Peace Fire poem published in its entirety someday. I am hoping on that. And now we have up next Jan Rowe, if she's willing to do a second one.
She ready.
She ready.
She ready.
This is pretty rough. Also, it's called Suicide and Murder. The Bank of Hitler's Third Reich, and now the Central Bank of Germany, Deutsche Bank, two of its loan officers committed suicide within a couple years of each other. Both had made loans to Trump, despite Trump owing the bank lots of money. Maybe some money laundering, billions for Russians was involved too. I feel for the adult child who found his dad hanging. Hope the image is replaced. The other suicide victim, by his hanging body in his London home, he left papers implicating Trump. Then there's Khashoggi, who was favored by Mohammed bin Salman, head of Saudi Arabia, until Khashoggi said something about Trump. Thank you. Oh, grim.
It's almost as if the man is trouble. I can't put my finger on it. Anyway, let's move over now to Mr. John Stickney.
Okay. The Angel of Death has a hilarious collection of anecdotes no one can stick around long enough to hear. Thanks.
Terrific.
Can you repeat that one more time? I hate doing that because I hate haiku clubs where they just pretentiously repeat the haikus like over and over again. But could you do that one more time?
The Angel of Death has a hilarious collection of anecdotes no one can stick around long enough to hear.
Very nice. Grazie. And with that, everyone's going to keep on saying my poems are getting darker. And yet we started with Hitler, and we even went back to Hitler, and now we're back to death. Jesus, people. And worst of all, my poems probably sound like the poem that Bill read, because I really honestly didn't realize it was mine. It's like,
and happy Thanksgiving to you too, Chad.
I feel so brain dead. Like, I feel like Bill could have actually had my face as his avatar, and I'd be like, "Ooh, who's that handsome man?" But I'm airheaded. But more importantly, it's time to get to our penultimate closer, Mr. James Van Looy. And before I close out with him, I should announce that next week's feature, if you haven't seen the flyer, has been announced. Tony Brown is the man who I've been hoping to have come to Stone Soup for a while. He is elected to, this is as far as I know, the only poetry reading by Zoom he's going to attend this year and in the near future. Tony Brown, if you check out the Stone Soup biography page, the bio page, and which has all the information on how to link, which I'll post later on next week. He has a poem that he has almost practically a poem a day blog on his. He has a WordPress page. He has a band, the Duende Project. His albums are on for sale, and he also has a Patreon, which if you want to donate as low as $1 a month, you can be subject to exclusive content. Patreon is something I've been wanting to do for a while, but haven't figured out a way to make it work. But some poets have done it, and he's not only just a poet and a musician, so he has extra stuff he can share. So I recommend trying that if you get a chance to support him. He also might have chapbooks available for the day of. He often has, the last time he actually did Stone Soup, which was the first time under my hosting, he actually had an exclusive chapbook for the event. I don't know if he'll do anything similar now, but his presence is enough, and he's the one who I've kept on wanting to have comment on the events as they were happening. By that I mean the election. So as I said before, so many people did not want to do a reading before the election because they didn't know what they were going to say. And Tony has always been on point. He knows what he wants to say. He has his message. If you're blessed enough to be on his Facebook page, some of the more insightful commentary, and I count that amongst people in major journals and newspapers. Truly a blessing to read his stuff if you are plugged in, and I hope maybe you will be after this reading. I encourage you to try. Hopefully more features will be announced as they come. But for now, we're going to move on to our next person or the person closing out the night and the round robin. Check out his column, which is still going to feature tomorrow at 11 o'clock. It's all one thing at oddballmagazine.com. A lot of good work being published there, a lot more to come. Keep abreast of it. There's going to be a lot more announcements, a lot more things coming to Oddball. And also there's a November 30th event taking place, an Eventbrite online seminar, which I'll post more information about on, if not Friday, then definitely this coming Monday. It's taking place on the 30th. And if you want to take part of that, I believe there's still space. But for now, let's get back away from Oddball and back to the person about to read. One more time, Mr. James Van Loy.
Thanks, Chad. So I have a piece here called The Whole World Upside Down. Supposedly, when the British at Yorktown marched out to surrender to the revolution in form of combined forces of the French and Washington's Continental Army, the fife and drum corps played this song from the English Civil War about when Cromwell in Protestant fervor canceled Christmas. And here we are with Thanksgiving almost on us. And Agent Hornchad still in White House, of course, still maintaining he won the election he lost. And the whole Republican Party continues to echo chamber his delusions. And the cult of MAGA bubbling conspiracy stew of hate and contrived grievance, dwindling minority rule, congealing into a mass march on the Capitol the party has controlled for the last 25 years, since the Newt did his contract on America in 1994, when the current ongoing expanding crisis, already apparent, was still small, manageable, a thing apparent only to nutcases like myself, but quite real nonetheless. Everyone still thought, why not go along to get along, go, get times, get. As neoliberalism was getting the former USSR, as it was sold off to the oligarch shock therapy straight from the Chicago school by way of Harvard, vintage neo-colonial theft of the people, even as now it's all come home in the form of the minority rule oppressors and the quisling enablers of token resistance. And let me just sing an old love song. Sometimes I wonder why I spend a lonely night dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie until I'm once again with you when our love was new. And each kiss and inspiration, but that was long ago. Now my consolation is in the stardust of a song behind the garden wall. When stars were bright, you were in my arms. The nightingale tells her fairy tale a paradise where roses grew. Though I dream in vain, in my heart it will remain a Sparta's melody, the memory of love's refrain.
Hey,
Thank you very much, James. And thanks to everyone to coming for this short and sweet open mic. Keeps me going, keeps the Stone Soup Crouton poems going, and hopefully keeps some of you going a little bit. And I hope you have your own other Zoom methadones going on in lieu of any regular poetry events going on, not going on tomorrow because of the holiday. I was thinking of having a Black Friday Stone Soup bonus, but I might be too busy that day, as I'm going to be finally breaking out decorations that we haven't been able to put up for a couple of years, putting them all around the house. So, and plus I'll probably be visiting my mom, who thankfully is not having a super spreader meal because a lot of the family members have backed out. So it's going to be a manageable 9 over at her house. So it may mean I don't have to wait 12 months to visit her again. But so I hope you guys are, hope everyone around you is, being smart and playing it safe. I hope you're playing it safe yourselves. I hope mentally you're doing well. This is going to be my first time being away from the family in quite a few years. It's generally been a Thanksgiving tradition of mine to eat with the family. That's like the one thing that has stuck even after, certain family members died. That's like the one constant. So it's going to be a little weird for me. So I'm glad you guys could come and help take my mind off of that.
Good.
Of course, I'm going to be I'm in a new house, and we already have I have like a 6-course meal getting ready here, and all I have to do is not burn the tofurkey, and it's very easy to not burn a tofurkey. It's just very hard to make it taste like a turkey that's not dry. You got to broth that mofo. So luckily I have experience.
The tofurkey's fine. I've had tofurkey several times.
I've had it a lot too since my new relationship.
Baked potatoes is a good thing.
Oh yeah, I just got to marinate it quite a bit. That's the secret: marinating and plenty of carrots and potatoes and parsnips. And we already got the gravy ready, so it's kind of gonna be exciting. I mean, we've had it before, but we've all usually had our celebration the day after my family Thanksgiving. So this is the first time vegan Christmas is front and center, with a couple of chicken breasts for the carnivores in our family. But yeah, you got to play for the whole crowd. But thank you guys very much. And
yeah, thanks, Chad. Yeah,
please be there for Tony Brown's feature next week. It's fantastic, and hopefully more features will be announced in the coming days as I have time. Obligatory wave, everybody, and I'm sure Carol and Nancy are waving from their area.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Take care of yourselves and have yourselves the best of evenings and the best
to see everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
I'll give Carol a chance to.
Hey, Carol.
I'll give
Good to
Carol
see you
a chance to
guys.
say
Good to
goodbye.
hear you.
Have a good night, Carol. You can
Good,
hear us.
Carol.
now.
Hi, Carol.
Trails.
Hi.
Carol.
Hello.
Okay, I think she's done.
All right.
At any rate, thank you guys very much. Enjoy your evening, and see you next time. Show's over.
See you. Thank you.
Take care.